the midst of hate, I found there was within me an invincible love.
In the midst of tears, there was within me an invincible smile.
In the midst of chaos, I found there was within me an invincible calm.
I realized through it all that in the midst of winter, I found there was within me an invincible summer.
And that makes me happy.
For it says that no matter how hard the world pushes against me,
within me, there's something stronger, something better, pushing right back.
Good morning. I'm Dr. Keith Johnson, Vice President for Equity and Inclusion here at ETSU. And it is my honor to welcome you to our opening event. Today is an opportunity for the ETSU campus to celebrate what it means to be part of a community where people come first. Today, we commemorate the opening of our Pride Center and recognize the opportunities this will provide for our students, faculty, and staff within the LGBTQ+ community and our allies. And also, today is a time which we recognize an individual, Dr. Patricia Robertson, who has been one of the greatest champions on this campus for diversity and inclusion, and an individual whose name will be forever part of our Pride Center. Others are joining us today for this event, and you will hear from them shortly. Thank you, Dr. Robertson, for the legacy you established on this campus, and congratulations to everyone who will be part of our Patricia Robertson Pride Center.
Hello, and it is my honor to bring you greetings and congratulations today on behalf of the ETSU Board of Trustees. We are very excited about the opening of the Patricia Robertson Pride Center. This center is a place for everyone, a place that has no boundaries, a place of inclusivity. For our students and employees who are part of the LGBTQ+ community, the Pride Center is where they can gather, build connections and friendships, and support each other. As someone who is an ally for the LGBTQ community, I look forward to the programming that will be offered and to the opportunities for our campus community to be a part of important conversations that will begin here, conversations that need to be happening. I am so proud of this day, and I salute Dr. Robertson for her leadership on this campus and for all she has done to advance the LGBTQ+ community. And I also commend all of those who played a role in helping this center not just be possible, but actually happen. Dreams do come true. Thank you for making ETSU a place where people truly do come first.
Hello, I'm Siobhan Patel, President of the ETSU Student Government Association, and it is my honor to be here today celebrating the opening of the Patricia Robertson Pride Center here in the DP Culp Student Center. When I arrived at ETSU as a freshman, I was amazed by the different cultural groups that were embraced by ETSU right here in the heart of East Tennessee. The diversity I was introduced to not only showed me the importance of others, but also myself. I was a name and not just a number. Here, I was taught to embrace my differences and challenge myself to appreciate those same differences in others. That is exactly what the Patricia Robertson Pride Center will do. I hope you'll join me as we celebrate our LGBTQ+ students, faculty, and staff, and all of their allies for this occasion. We know that while college can be a transformative time for students as they prepare for their future journeys ahead, it can be a difficult time that is met with struggles and challenges. That includes dealing with questions about their sexual identity. Our Pride Center is a place where they can feel safe, where all students can feel safe, have access to resources, and be part of a community dialogue and conversation. That's another reason I fell in love with ETSU. No matter what the journey is, no matter what the challenges are, we're never alone, and there's always someone to help you succeed. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm delighted to be here today, and it is truly an honor to serve as the founding director of the Patricia Robertson Pride Center. I want to begin by saying thank you to President Noland for all you do to make this campus an inclusive one, for being an ally, and for demonstrating every day the true values of this institution. I want to thank Dr. Joe Sherlin and Dr. Leah Adenolfi for their leadership and for making it possible for us to have the Pride Center here in the Culp. And I also want to thank Dr. Keith Johnson for providing me this opportunity and for all you do to support the LGBTQ+ community. At this time, I'd also like to acknowledge Adam Derrick, who is the graduate assistant for the center. Adam works to make the day-to-day operations of the center happen, and I am so pleased to have him as part of the team. I want to touch base on something President Patel said a moment ago. We are never alone. As a student struggling with sexual or gender identity, asking questions about who you are and trying to find where you belong, it's easy to feel like you're alone. Many sexual and gender minority students struggle with the burden of minority stress and are more prone to depression or anxiety and have higher rates of suicide attempts, especially among our transgender community. For those students, that is why the Pride Center is here. The Pride Center is an opportunity to meet others in a welcoming environment, have access to resources, and to have a space where truly everyone belongs. 4 years ago, I moved to Johnson City, leaving behind the safety and security of my friends, family, and the support network I had built for myself over the years. As a sexual minority myself, I didn't know what awaited me in Johnson City, over 400 miles from home. I embraced the opportunity to meet new people, explore new places, and discover who I really was outside of my comfort zone. And so to everyone watching this, I challenge you to step outside of your comfort zone, because in the vulnerable space, beyond your own lived experiences, is an opportunity to grow, develop greater empathy, and create positive change in the world. Dr. Robertson, I did not have the honor of working with you while you were here on the faculty at ETSU, but I have heard so many great things about you from the moment I joined Clemmer College. Thank you for being such a strong leader and advocate for the LGBTQ+ community, and for all the work you have done to foster inclusion here at ETSU. It is my honor to carry your legacy forward through the work of the Patricia Robertson Pride Center. To everyone who is joining us today, I welcome your ideas and your feedback, as well as your vision for the Patricia Robertson Pride Center, because the Pride Center is not just for those who identify as LGBTQ. It's about all of us, and it takes all of us to create genuine and lasting change.
To me, the Patricia Robertson Pride Center means a comfy place to meet other LGBTQ people.
Inclusion is seeing the whole of a person, the whole of every person, and welcoming every body with open arms. The Pride Center is working to make ETSU and the East Tennessee region more inclusive, more welcoming, and more holistic.
To me, the Patricia Robertson Pride Center provides a safe space for all underrepresented groups of our community.
Thank you and good morning. I want to begin by thanking a number of individuals whose leadership and vision are being recognized today as we celebrate the opening of the Dr. Patricia Robertson Pride Center. We're very fortunate to have Dr. Bethany Novotny in her role as the center's founding director. As many of you know, Dr. Novotny is one of the greatest champions for the LGBTQ+ community on our campus, and she's playing a lead role in ensuring that our students, our faculty, and our staff have the resources and support that they need. I look forward to the work that she, that Adam Derrick, and others will accomplish through our Pride Center. I want to thank Dr. Keith Johnson as well for his leadership and efforts for this campus to be one ETSU. Last month, Dr. Johnson's office hosted a two-day equity and inclusion conference that brought more than 300 individuals together to focus a dialogue around equity, inclusion, difference, diversity, but one ETSU. And I look forward to that dialogue continuing in the months and years to come. I also want to thank Dr. Joe Sherlin and everyone who was involved in the renovation and planning for the new DP Culp Student Center and for ensuring that the Pride Center would have a permanent home here. I know that this is an exciting day for our students who identify as members of the LGBTQ+ community and for their allies. I want to recognize the members of our Saga organization, and I commend them for the work that they contribute to provide education, support, and advocacy for our entire community. As I announced earlier this summer, we launched our first faculty and staff LGBTQ+ association over the past couple of months. I appreciate the work that Dr. Novotny and Dr. Johnson have done to get this organization started. More than 50 faculty and staff have joined the group, and I'm excited about the work that they will do and for the opportunities that will emerge as they collaborate with the Pride Center. However, we would not be here today if it were not for the leadership of one particular individual, the person for whom this center is named. I was on this campus for less than a week when I first heard about the legacy of Dr. Robertson. She'd already retired by the time that I became president in 2012. But the stories and accounts of all that she'd accomplished and the thousands of lives that she touched are woven throughout the fabric of our university's history. Dr. Robertson, I want to thank you for being an inspiring role model and mentor for our students. I thank you for being a voice for those who've stood in fear and silence. I thank you for the lessons that you taught to all of us and for demonstrating that everyone and to everyone what pride truly means. It's an honor that the home of the Patricia Robertson Pride Center is here on our campus, and that your legacy will continue through the work of our faculty, staff, and students to keep our mission burning bright, a mission to improve the quality of life for all of the people of our region, to create one ETSU, a campus bound together, accepting of difference, but working to promote the values of equity and inclusion, serving as a voice and a champion for our region as a whole. Thank you.
Being part of the opening of the Pride Center is an honor for me. Having my name connected with this effort is so humbling. In my career, there has not been a greater honor, and I thank all of those who are involved in this effort. Mostly, I'm so grateful that there is now a Pride Center at ETSU. How very far we've come. At this time in our country and in our world, showing our overt support is critical. I came to ETSU in 1998 from the University of Wisconsin in Oshkosh. While I was there, I worked with a handful of women in establishing a Safe Zone program. When I arrived here, I quickly connected with Brandon Hutchinson, the president of Lambda organization. That was the LGBTQ+ organization at that time. Our initial goals were to start a Safe Zone at ETSU, have a great gay pride march, and to also get sexual orientation and gender identity included in the EEOC policy. With the help of committed folks here at ETSU, these goals were accomplished with the exception of gender identity. As chair of a department at ETSU, I met with President Stanton at times. In one of our meetings, I asked him if he would be willing to meet with 4 of our lesbian and gay male faculty staff members and me. All 4 were, of course, in the closet. I had asked each of these individuals, and they, exhibiting great bravery, were willing to participate as long as the meeting remained secret and was held somewhere other than the president's office, so no connection could be made to them and to the outcome of the meeting. Dr. Stanton agreed, not really knowing the meaning or the impact. At that meeting, these individuals shared how they feared each day that they might be outed and that they would lose their jobs. One of the individuals shared that when she left that morning, her partner, knowing that she would be outing herself to President Stanton, said, "I hope you come home with a job." They talked about living with this fear daily, knowing they were doing their jobs well and that still they could be fired for being. Dr. Stanton was surprised to hear their stories. He, as a hetero-cis male, had never thought that this might be a threat to the LGBTQ+ members of the staff and faculty because it was not something he had to consider. It was not something I had to consider. We also talked about the fact that it wasn't accidental that on a campus of this size there were maybe 2 faculty and staff individuals who were out at that time. Dr. Stanton left that meeting, and in his next council meeting he announced that sexual orientation would be added to the campus EEOC anti-discrimination policy. Since that time, President Nolan has supported adding gender identity and gender expression. Aren't things wonderfully different now? ETSU has a LGBTQ+ faculty and staff group that is open and loud and proud. Safe Zone is still alive and well on this campus and is supported fully by the administration and coordinated beautifully by Stacy Williams, Allison Dedman, and Heidi Marsh. For the last 2 years, and this would have been the third without the pandemic interruption, the Tri-Cities has held a gay pride celebration that draws hundreds of people and supported by Johnson City, Kingsport, and Bristol City governments, businesses, and citizens. And there is now a Jordan Multicultural Center and a Pride Center. Someone asked me if I would share why I was and am such a strong advocate for the LGBTQ+ community. I began social justice work in high school, certainly not knowing what it was called at that time, defending Gary Wilson and his desire to dress in a gender-fluid fashion, standing with the two brave black siblings who came into our high school in a desegregating effort. I learned so much more about racism, sexism, and homoprejudice when I entered college at UNC Chapel Hill in 1968, and at that time I became seriously engaged in efforts of civil rights and liberties, focusing primarily on racial and gender injustices. It wasn't until the 80s that I committed as a strong advocate for the LGBTQ+ community. I worked at North Carolina School for the Arts and later was on the faculty at Bowman Gray College of Medicine and offered therapeutic intervention for men who were diagnosed with HIV/AIDS. From then on, I was in. I saw that what this culture did and did not do, and also became profoundly aware of the privileges I was granted as a hetero-identified woman, and later understanding my cis privileges. The injustices were profound. I believed I could speak out and make a difference. I knew that as a hetero-cis woman, my voice would be heard more clearly at times than the voices of someone from the LGBTQ community, regrettably. My work and play with the LGBTQ community has never been altruistic. I have always received much more than I have given. I was and I am an ally and advocate for the LGBTQ+ community because I can be, and because it is definitely what I should have been doing with my life and what I want to continue to do with my life. Gratefully, individuals who are part of the LGBTQ+ community at ETSU can now speak for themselves and not fear losing their jobs or their friends, or in some cases, their families. Individuals with privilege must be clear about our rights and responsibility to speak for shared privilege and for justice and inclusion for all. Thank you, thank you, thank you for this amazing honor. I will spend the remaining years of my wild and wonderful life trying to be worthy of it.
There are moments in the life of a university that are historic. Moments when we look back and thank those who provided a foundation that make moments such as this possible. I am honored and excited to be part of this virtual ribbon cutting as we open the Patricia Robertson Pride Center here on the campus of East Tennessee State University.